Hi, I'm Anita Burns, and welcome to new viewers, and welcome back if you've been here before. These videos are transcriptions of recorded trans-channelings that I've done over the last 40 years or so. This one is especially important now, though. It's all about why war. So why does humankind love war so much that over our whole history of known existence, we've never had any time of worldwide peace? Even now, when one would think that we should have evolved spiritually and emotionally enough to leave war behind, it still is with us. So sit back and listen to the words of light beings Johar and Simon as they reveal the answers to why there has been and still are wars in the world. And they also send us a ray of hope that it won't always be this way. Thanks, and remember to like, subscribe, and comment. We've been asked why the psychopaths, bigots, racists, and narcissists have been running much of your world for so long. Why, you ask, does history keep repeating itself, with power-grabbing wannabe lords and tyrants rising up to suppress the populace? Then when the people have had enough, they rebel. But most often victory is temporary, and the power-hungry, greedy lords rise again. Why? It is true that cycles of life on your planet create repeating rise and fall of power and abuse. There is, though, more than one cycle operating in the complexity of how humans perceive and react to their survival instincts. But each cycle has a different flavor, you might say. It's not a circle, but a spiral. Those of you who recognize these patterns and are outraged or dismayed by them are not the norm of your species. You are the people who have made that rainbow bridge connection to your divine self, from partially to nearly completely. To those listening or reading this and seeing the wisdom and truth of it here, you are not the norm. Whether you are pleased with this or not, it's a sign that you have, to some extent, connected with your source and see more clearly than most of your population. But this puts you on the fringes of society. You are not coming from the average populace. You have awareness. You have heart. You have connectedness. You are on a journey of opening your mind and your heart and your spirit to the greater good. Be aware that the majority of human beings are not like that. They don't care about the world's future in general. They want power now. They want money now. They want to be at the top of the heap, be it in their family, social group, business, town, city, country, or the world. And that is their only driving force. Even the pacifists, the humble, and the socially responsible of the general population want those things. But perhaps they have fears governed by what we call spiritual filters about going after being the top dog. No matter how many churches they go to, no matter whether they pray until their knees are bloody, the younger souls still put first their own power, their own good, their own welfare, and that of the clan they might call family. If they are clerics, social workers, or any other service-oriented occupation, they work to climb the ladder of success and be in charge. We do want to point out the importance of overleaf filters here. Some have overleaves of failure, self-deprecation, and such, that will channel their supreme survival instincts in inverse ways. If they suffer, for instance, they want to really suffer. If they do good works, they want accolades, recognition, praise. Rewards and recognition are vital for them to feel worthy. This is related to the base nature inherent in all humans. Yes, It is nature coming through because they have not connected or awakened in their divine source to realize that they are not alone, but are connected in greater sense to everyone and everything around them. Please remember, however, that being among the majority of the populace, who are nearly all younger souls, does not make you a sociopath or a psychopath. It is the spiritual overleaves and filters that each person takes during every incarnation that mold the personality. This is not the time to go into the complexities of this, and the channel has mapped it out in a publication called Map Your Soul Journey. But perhaps in the future we will talk on these crucial details of spirituality. At the core, the majority of human beings are categorized as infant, baby, and young souls, which means that their spirit consciousness is disconnected and not fully aware or awake within. They are operating only out of their human-animal consciousness, and it is the same Homo sapiens animal consciousness that has been running the show since the beginning of your species on the planet. It is tantamount in all other animals as well. It is tribal consciousness. That consciousness is overwhelmingly concerned with survival and success, not only of self, but of the pack and of the tribe and of the family and such. So most of them are not aware that they are manipulating each other because of their need for dominance. Some are, however, and simply don't care. In your world, there are wars after wars after wars. These younger souls, who are bent on mastery of control and power, manipulate prevailing social beliefs and rile anger, fears, and frustrations in the general populace. They get the less aggressive younger souls excited about issues large and small by using rhetoric and propaganda. They fill the people's brains full of craziness, falsities, and insecurities. This creates situations that cause unrest, war, and conflict. This, in your history, repeats over and over again. Why? Because they do not know any other way to be. And the instigators and leaders of these campaigns make sure that their prey deify them, so that no matter what they say and do, it will be justified in their followers' minds. On the smaller scale, you have cults and charismatic leaders who want support in their rise to power within their movement or religion. On the larger scale, you have dictators, autocrats, fascists, conquerors, warmongers who recruit devoted foot soldiers. Mature and old souls don't go to war unless it is to defeat the instigators who are dangerously close to destroying humanity. They have rules of behavior that will defend them against all odds. This is played out in smaller disputes, feuds, and squabbles, not for world dominance and massive suppression. That takes a specific mix of soul age and ray, negative pole overleaves, and filters. In general, mature and old souls negotiate, compromise, discuss, and create peace and cooperation. If they go to war, as we said, it is to protect the planet and keep tyranny at bay. Most younger souls who fight in the wars and those who support the war effort believe in them, even if they've been lied to about the reason for the fighting. Is this all wrong? Should they not support a war or believe in the propaganda? No, it's not wrong, but it is the natural order of things. It is the younger soul's way of things. Old souls and more passive younger souls protest against it and take a leading role in restructuring when it's over. We give you the protests and mass movements for peace during the Vietnam conflict that finally prevailed in stopping the insanity and the fighting. Another example of something less extreme is the fight to give women the vote in the United States. The leaders of this suffrage movement were predominantly mature and old souls. Those opposing it were predominantly young and baby souls. You may be wondering if the warmongers will pay a karmic price for all the pain and suffering they have created. Yes, they will pay, but how may surprise you, for it is perhaps not what you think. There is no punishment, so to speak. Karma is not a judgment from a God who says, you are bad, therefore you must be punished, and you must pay for your sins. That is a religious concept. Deep within, there is a conscience of guilt about how they mistreated their life and how they manipulated others. They have a small awareness of their divine source, but it's not strong enough to overcome their desire to be king or queen of the mountain, and so they push it into the background of their awareness. But when they leave their body behind and are entering into the spirit world, they review their life with guidance. Then they see more clearly how their actions hurt the planet, hurt the people, and how they feel the emotions of guilt, sorrow, anger, dismay, and more. These emotions draw them into situations in their next physical embodiment where they can learn and grow, where they can make amends, where they can change and begin to awaken to extended compassion. This soul might choose to be someone who is abused, abandoned, or suffers severe physical disabilities or other challenges in life. Sometimes they are incarnated into lives that seem to repeat the misguided ways of their past to give them opportunities to make the same mistakes and choose to follow a different path. They don't always succeed. For example, one such would-be dictator in your news was, in his last life, Napoleon Bonaparte. Now he wants to be the sole power of a country and is having trouble getting it. He has a substantial following, but not enough. He still fights on. So it looks like he has not learned from his past imprisonment and his death from stomach cancer. It seems he will leave this life in a worse state than he began. He has not, as of this channeling, made better choices for his life. Saner minds. Now, let's talk more about the damage that younger souls bent on power and wealth and dominance can do to your planet, if not stopped by saner minds. Looking around you at the world today, you might believe that you are on the brink of social and financial collapse, catastrophe, or another world war. It is, of course, possible without pushback from saner minds, but it is not imminent. Nothing is ever so destined that it cannot be turned around by you using your divine source. So, what can you do as an individual? You can learn to quiet your chaotic mind, to connect with your source, be your own spiritual guide, experience the rivers and flow of energy forces in the world. Use this and your intention to increase the light and decrease the darkness. The method does not matter. The philosophy or religion does not matter. It is the intent that matters. Buddhists, Christians, Muslims, Taoists, Wiccans, agnostics, and atheists all have equal power to make positive change in the world. Remember, you are not alone. Hundreds, thousands, even millions of people are working toward this in their own ways. Each drop makes a difference. Enough drop will create a powerful ocean. Secrecy is harder to keep. A lot of the manipulations by the power-hungry younger souls was and still are done secretly and behind closed doors. This is becoming more difficult for them because of the cycles and networks of energy that are changing in your world. Secrets are harder to keep and more difficult to hide. Still, in their arrogance, they don't see the proverbial writing on the wall. A new era is moving in and changing how your world will go into the future. It is a struggle, but know that even now the light is encroaching and exposing the deeds of those who would create destruction for personal gain. Take heart and let your light shine bright in the world. Namaste.